and man came to the tiniest country and turned into a giant. He easily defeats Marines and becomes a superhero. Those who want to become giants in this place remember to see all. Gulliver is extremely depressed at his job. He is just a filing clerk of a New York City newspaper. He has been in this job for over 10 years. Basically, he didn't want to change his job, but something bad happened. He crushes the beautiful journalist, Darcy, but he was just too cowardly to confide his love to her. That day he finally got his courage to express his feelings. Darcy is convinced and gives him a mission. That is going to the Bermuda Triangle, and writes an article about the legends of ships that mysteriously disappearing there. He wants to demonstrate his ability. Gulliver immediately hires a boat to start the journey. On the trip, he fell asleep and was caught up in a bizarre storm. The big waves swallowed him into the deep sea. Until Gulliver regains consciousness, he finds out that he has been surrounded by an army. The leader of this army is Edward. Gulliver feels extremely confused. He stands up immediately and wanted to break the ties. That makes Edward even more brutal. He leads an elite army to defeat Gulliver. Then Edward led Gulliver to the bastion to meet the king and the princess. The king was shocked when seeing the giant Gulliver. He immediately told Edward to put him in prison. Then Gulliver is forced to labor re-educate the next day. Here Gulliver meets his inmate, Horatio, who was jailed by Edward because he loved the Princess Mary and Lilliput. The second day, under Edward's control, Gulliver had to engage in farming. A few hundred acres of fields are done once going. But there was one thing that amazed Edward the most. At the same time, another nation sent Marines to capture Lilliput. All are the most powerful elites. They aim to keep the princess as a hostage. Let the king surrender. Edward saw the 4 capitals flooded with fire. Getting the precious sword rushed to risk his life. Gulliver also took this chaotic occasion. Run into the bastion. Rescue princess put on her hand. Also, use his urine to extinguish that fierce fire. Save the king alive. Witness Gulliver's success. Edward is ablaze with anger. Wanting to quarrel with Gulliver. The results are making the whole person wet with waste. Immediately shut up. Because of thanks for saving Gulliver's life. The king announces in advance everyone will release him. Also built a palace for Gulliver. At this moment, Gulliver blinked into the life of glory. Seeing himself as a war god. Start casting spells in that state. Said before also defeated Thanos, who the god of thunder. Also incumbent Avatar things. Those little people admired Gulliver only. It is said that Gulliver is a giant war god. This made Edward extremely indignant. Gulliver even saved his fellow prisoner. Leading him in front of the princess, spoke a mountain of sweet words. The princess is touching. And Edward also wanted to follow the princess. But he did not know how to say sweet words like that. Just say a sentence, that I have caught an old hawk. Then brush butt off. Leaving the princess face bewildered like a golden deer. At the same time, the infantry discovered Gulliver's boat. Also found phone and robot design drawings. This made him overjoyed. Immediately heard the message on the phone. Discovered that Darcy also went to the Bermuda Triangle. On the other side, Edward, because of jealousy, Gulliver quarreled with the king. The king once again criticized Edward harshly. He quickly lost his mind. Turn off all the arms of the state. Another country sees such a situation. Immediately launches an attack. Explosives are everywhere. Gulliver saw his opportunity to show off. Wearing each pair of ships run out in the middle of the sea. But doesn't want to fight, and kill, just wants the opponent to retreat. However, they basically kept him out of sight. Unexpectedly the bullets just hit Gulliver. Immediately the 5-inch layer of fat on his body bounced back. Then Gulliver used his hand to pull all those boats back to shore. Can't resist them, they just surrender. The king gave him the title of general. Therefore, Edward did not hold back. The decision to become a traitor. Take the robot design drawings to go to another country. Change to another scene. After Gulliver becomes a shogun, he becomes extremely arrogant. Always feel like a war god. No one can beat him. Gulliver was still jabbered on the street that day. Then our antagonist Edward appeared, wanting to fight Gulliver. That making Gulliver very happy. Sure that Edward will never beat him. Immediately agreed with Edward. As a result, Edward used the robot directly to fight. Only one hand lifted Gulliver. At this moment he immediately felt scared, and immediately surrendered. Also said before, he was fooling people. He has never beaten Thanos. The king and princess as well as everyone heard it. Winking disappointed not only. Next, Edward took him to a deserted island. Also, lead soldiers to take over the state, wanting to force the princess to marry him. At that time, the beautiful sister, Darcy, was also lost in this bastion. Gulliver's friend knows of the situation. Immediately steer the boat to the signboard wanting to inform him. This side Gulliver bewildered on a deserted island. Then he got caught by a child, also dressed for a princess outfit, and every day was forced to drink milk. His friend has found Gulliver. Also reported that Darcy was taken away by Edward. Gulliver was thoroughly pissed off. Take the parachute down. He also led his friend back to the cottage. Seeing Darcy in jail, Gulliver was completely awake at that time. The next day, Gulliver appeared before Edward wanted to challenge the fight. Edward immediately agreed and said, if Gulliver loses, he will smash all this small state. Gulliver after listens to that condition, instantly, like a hungry tiger rushing into Edward's robot to punch each other. They competed very fiercely. Unexpectedly Edward gets dirty. Increased electrical attacks through robots. Of course, Gulliver could not handle this poisonous move. Turn over then fall. The other inmate who saw Edward gets dirty is very angry. In a jiffy, he approaches the robot's control compartment, up to immediately cut off the wire inside. Gulliver then immediately counterattacked. Defeat Edward's robot. Also, pull out the machine part. The robot officially turned into a pile of scrap metal. After defeating Edward, the king of another country also wants to declare war. How good everyone is at peace. After listening, countries also feel moral. That hero friend and successful princess are a couple. Gulliver and Darcy also become lovers. Let's return to the newsroom together. But since then Gulliver never knew how to be shy again. Turn into a positive progressive person. Just like that, the giant Gulliver saved the cottage. Also, achieved success in life. The story here is the end. Each person has a certain value. Just have a positive and progressive heart to rise. Then there will be a successful day. If you are transported to the other cottage and become a giant with supernatural powers, what will you do? Thank you for watching. Follow my page to watch more film review.